We've all had fantasies when we were little kids. We fantasized about huge battles with dragons, or being saved by princes, or playing a home, or basically anything really. We were thrown into the world and then we built something on top of it. And for example, for me, I have huge daydreaming even towards this day. I watch a lot of anime, I read a lot of books, and oftentimes when I'm in the public transport or in a car, I imagine myself in huge battles, like I'm some airbender, or I have some type of magic from anime or something like that, and I'm battling these things for some reason. Or for example, I had even daydreaming about how I'm a huge singer or dancer or something like that. When I listen to a song, I imagine myself that I'm singing the song. So for me, this theme is very crucial or very part of myself, this fantasizing, this daydreaming. And I've wondered a lot what it could mean. And at the beginning, I just want to say these are just thoughts. And we shouldn't really dwell on intrusive thoughts or analyzing them into depth. Because when you have something that's nibbling your mind, for example, I don't know, you can have intrusive thought that you see a child with ice cream and then you want to trip them, and so they fall down. And it doesn't mean you're a bad person that you're fantasizing about that, because it's intrusive thought. But at the same time, we shouldn't dwell on it, but at the same time, I think that we can uncover some aspect of ourselves from fantasizing. For me, it's these huge battles, these huge, I don't know, magic systems, etc. What it tells about me is that I have huge imagination. I really like my inner world and I like to spend time in it. And in those fantasies, I'm capable, I'm powerful, I'm doing something to protect others, being helpful. And in a way, you can tell yourself or say to yourself what your fantasies tell about you. What do you dream about? You can put it in ChatGPT or anything really. But before you start analyzing your fantasies, you first need to realize what are your priorities, what are your values, because you then see your values and priorities in your fantasy. So if you fantasize about a romantic life or a great partner, then you want to share life with someone, you want love, you want this deep connection with someone, but you can already know that beforehand. And what I want to say is that fantasies don't really uncover something that's unconscious, or maybe they do, but we cannot really see it if it's unconscious. So for me, fantasies can be a key or a part of seeing the bigger picture. So if you think about yourself that you want to protect your family, if you see yourself as a protector, if you see yourself as a provider, and then you fantasize about defending your wife or defending your partner when somebody attacks them, then it's another reason why are you like that, basically, I would say. I wouldn't say that fantasies are this another world that explores something deeper about yourself. Maybe it is, but I think that it's just thoughts. Your brain is probably bored. Your brain just want to pass the time. And for example, for me, my daydreaming is worse or the most extravagant when I'm bored. So, for example, when I'm in a public transport or I'm doing some mindless task, then my brain goes into daydreaming and I imagine those battles, for example. So, I wouldn't see it as this uncovering of deeper truths, but it's definitely confirmation of your inner world or your inner values, that if you daydream about something a lot, then it confirms something about you. And probably when you fantasize a lot, you see you see your life as boring, or you're bored, or maybe if you've had this since childhood, then I don't think it's a problem. But for example, if you haven't had it for 20 years and then it started again, maybe it signalizes something for you. Maybe it signalizes that something is important, something you should you should look into. But I just want to say that if you fantasize something, then it doesn't necessarily mean you want it in real life. If you fantasize about knocking someone up, or if you fantasize about beating someone up, then it doesn't mean you want to beat someone. You just your brain passes the time. For example, I've seen this podcast where they discuss some sexual fantasies, and they said that in the US, the most sexual fantasy is having a threesome. But when they asked the people if they really would like it, or if they would have, if they want the threesome, they said no. And that's the important thing about fantasies. It's not even sexual fantasies, but fantasies overall. They are just fantasy. They are daydreaming. They are some aspect of the inner world. There is a reason why they happen, but we don't really understand the human brain, not even thoughts, not even emotions, and we don't really understand it. So take it with a grain of salt. It can uncover something in you, but it shouldn't be the sole provider of information. You should first look at your values, what you hold dear in life, what you like, what you dislike, and then you can look at your fantasies and see if it correlates, if it meets somewhere with your true values or your core beliefs. But first, you need to know yourself. You need to know your beliefs. You need to know your values, and don't lie to yourself. If you like something, you like something. If you dislike something, you dislike something. We are all different. And for each of us, fantasies can represent something different. So it's totally up to you what it represents. But don't give it necessarily too much value, because it can say something, but not that much. And be also careful on dwelling on your fantasies too much. If you start to analyze them too much, if you start to give them too much effort, if you give them too much attention, then they will happen more and more. Because that's the point with intrusive thoughts, that they are just thoughts. It's a noise. With fantasies, it's a color, it's a picture, it's a noise. But at the same time, it's not real. So don't dwell on it that much. Just see it, observe it, notice it, and that's it. But it's a great way to pass time in public transport if you are bored. See you soon, guys.